Nobody's here yet. I'm live, and I don't know if anybody will join, but this will be available on demand on my channel for anybody who watches this in the future. Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Bob Stanke. Welcome to my channel. This is my first live. So, been doing consistent YouTube publishing here for just a little over a month, and yeah, just this is my first live video, so thanks for tuning in and watching, even if it's not live when you watch it. I thought what I would do today is every Sunday I do a what I call a wrap session, WRAP. It's weekly review and planning session. So I thought, I'm trying not to shake the camera too much. You could watch along and see how I do this. I've had some people ask me in the past how I do my weekly review and planning sessions. So I thought, hey, I'll just record a video, and since I'm doing it live anyways, you can watch along. So I am not going to share my screen though, just because I'm going to be looking at some kind of confidential stuff, both personally and for work on my screen, and I don't want to show any of that. So in the future, maybe I'll show some things on my screen as I do this. Maybe I'll do this live every Sunday. I'm not sure. So if you want to join along, go for it. So, okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about why I do these and how I got started doing these. But maybe I'll do it when I get to a part that is just kind of mindless thinking. But like I said, this is called my weekly wrap, weekly review and planning session. So I go through a lot of things. I have a pre-built checklist that I follow every week. I'm at home. I'm actually in the kitchen, the dining room, doing this one in the dining room. Sometimes I do it in my office downstairs. Sometimes I go somewhere else, go to a coffee shop or whatever. Sometimes I do these in the morning. Sometimes I do them in the evening. Sometimes I do them in the middle of the day. So it just really depends on when I've got the time on that Sunday. So, okay, so yeah, I have a checklist that I'm going to go through, and you can kind of see. So the first thing I do is I have to make sure I have everything first. So I make sure I've got my mail. This is when I go through the mail from the week. I've got my backpack. This is kind of my catch-all all week. It goes everywhere I go, and so a lot of things just gets dumped in there. I've got miscellaneous papers and posted notes that I keep during the week, loose leaf notes that I draw or write out. So I've got those as well, and I probably have some in my backpack, so I'm sure some of those will show up as well. I've got my laptop in front of me here. You can't see it, but I got my laptop ready to go. It's got my email open. It's got my calendar open. It's got my notes app. It's got my Trello open. So I'm good there. And then every week I do this, I have some sort of drink, whether it be a coffee or something. Actually, this week, yesterday, went to this place called Northern Soda Company. It's a tap room, a soda tap room actually, and they craft their own soda. So this week, I'm actually going to have a butterscotch root beer, which I've had before. That's really good. So just something, and I have my bottle of water as well. So I'm ready to go, ready to get into my wrap session. Okay, so usually what I like to do is I like to start with kind of the personal stuff first, get that out of the way, because then I focus on just a little bit on kind of what my work schedule looks like, and that I don't include too heavily, just if there's anything major I need to be aware of. And then the bulk of the time is really spent on what content I want to create for the week, what things I'm trying to build on my own, things like that. So, yeah, so let's get started. So personally, the first thing on my checklist is I go through the mail. I go through all the mail that collects throughout the week, and just go through, categorize it. You know, if it's a bill or something that needs to be paid, it's put into pile, and a lot of it gets torn up. Some goes into a pile that needs to be further looked at. Um, Maybe it's something I need to study a little bit more in depth, and I actually will time block out some time during the week to do that. So I figured, since while I'm going through the mail, being that's one of the first things I do, I talked to you a little bit about how I started doing these weekly reviews, as I start going through these one by one. So in 2008, um, I was in a pretty bad spot. Professionally, I was in a pretty bad spot. Um, I wasn't happy with where my career was going. I didn't like the things I was doing. I really needed a change. Family life was okay. Finances could have been better. Um, just kind of, really in a slump. And it was August of 2008. Was it August? No, it was July. July 2008, and I was up at the cabin, and was coming back, and decided to try to find some podcast I could listen to that would give me some inspiration or something to start turning things around, because I was really just not feeling good about where I was at. And so I happened to stumble across, because I think I searched for like personal productivity or something like that. I think that was the phrase I was using. And came across these podcasts that had this guy named David Allen in them, Getting Things Done. I had no idea. I hadn't heard of it before. And downloaded a whole bunch of them. And it was a 3-hour car ride from the cabin to home. And this was a Sunday afternoon. And I binged everything I could on those podcasts. Everything that David Allen was, all the podcasts he was a guest on. I don't even know if Getting Things Done had its own podcast at that time. It might have. But he was a guest on a whole bunch. I think his TED Talk was included in one of the podcasts, whatever. I just binged everything I could on that drive home. And actually, when I got back to the Twin Cities, I was so intrigued by what he was talking about, the whole Getting Things Done, that when I got back to the Twin Cities from northern Wisconsin, I didn't even go right home. I went immediately to Barnes & Noble. And I got the book, Getting Things Done. And read the entire book that night. Just devoured it. And then the next thing I know, I'm going to the Mall of America, going to the Franklin Covey store, because I had heard in one of the podcasts the Franklin Covey system, and actually I had some Franklin Covey training and actually had the binder already, but I decided to get the page inserts. So went to Mall of America the next day after work, Monday, and got a whole set of page inserts and was rocking and rolling. And I haven't looked back since. And I've been doing weekly reviews, which is a core element of the Getting Things Done methodology that David Allen teaches. I've been doing it consistently ever since. So, what's that? 15, 17 years? 17 years I've been doing Getting Things Done. And so, this is just part of my routine now. And it's definitely spun off into, I kind of do my own version of Getting Things Done. I don't necessarily follow the book or even the process for the weekly review, what he calls it, the weekly review. I know some of the weekly review that he has looks ahead to, but I decided to call it a weekly review and planning session. because I do spend a lot more time planning than I think reviewing. And his weekly review really focuses on um, um, I don't know how to describe it. Um, I don't know. I don't exactly know how to describe it. All I know is I've changed a little bit of the process to be molded more towards what I need, which is fine. I mean, there's no, as he said, everybody does it their own way. Um, I still digest a ton of getting things done. I listen to the podcasts, and there's a couple other podcasts, and I've done things over the years like the bullet journal, and still incorporate a lot of these things. But like, I don't use the Franklin Covey system anymore, like I used to. I've kind of gotten away from that, but I use elements of it. So I kind of created this essentially hodgepodge system that works for me. So everybody does their weekly review. If I focus on just like the getting things done, and from what I've heard from other people, everybody does their weekly review at different times. Some people do them on Fridays, when they're at the office, in the afternoon when it's quieter. Some people do it on the weekends. Everybody does it at a different time, and I've just always, for me, Sunday's the start of the week. I know a lot of people think, use a weekly calendar that starts on a Monday. Mine, I've always considered Sunday to be the starting point of my week, so I've just always done it on Sunday. Okay, so we're making a good headway here on the mail. Lot of junk that can just get tossed. So then what happened was I devoured all this content, started getting into a routine. I feel like I started to get my life together. And it wasn't that it was like a total disarray or anything. It's just that it was kind of a mess, and I just needed some structure, I think. And it kind of brought that to me, and things really started to turn around. A couple months later, I got the courage and willpower to leave the job I was in. Ended up taking a different job that was a complete disaster. But not long after, 6 months after that, I landed a job at a very good company, large company that was really growing and coming out of kind of that 2008 kind of bad time. And my career hasn't looked back since. So I've been really happy with how things turned out, and I think a lot of it was because of the whole getting things done, personal productivity, implementing that into my life. I feel like that made a huge impact on the direction that my life went after that. So here we are. Still doing the routine. I still, like I said, devour GTD content. David Allen. I see things online. I watch him if he's in anything. So yeah, I'm a disciple of the process. There's a podcast and group called the Getting Things Done Virtual Study Group. They have a podcast that you can listen to. Every time they release an episode, I listen to it, and still travel the circles of productivity, personal productivity, in terms of like following the people that create a lot of content in that space. So, okay, we are almost done here with the mail. There's actually not. Got rid of quite a bit. So I used to follow this guy. I don't think he's published content on YouTube in a really long time. But his name was David. Well, not was. I think he's still around. David Say. Maybe I'll link to his channel in the description when this is all said and done. But he would have these kind of working sessions where he would just work and kind of broadcast live. And I always really enjoyed them and said I'd like to do that at some point down the road. And so here I am giving it a shot. But he would do work and just have the camera rolling. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so done with the mail. Okay, so physical mail is done. So basically, this section of the weekly review and planning session is doing all things mail and digital inboxes, my Gmail, my work email, and social media inboxes, which is something that I feel like I forget a lot. Occasionally I'll still get messages, Instagram DMs or whatever. LinkedIn, I have to go in and check my LinkedIn mail because, during the week I'm not in there as much just because I'm busy with stuff. So that's what I'm going to kind of do right now. So I've gone through the physical mail and I cut it down tremendously. There's just a couple things that need to be followed up in here, bills, so forth and so on. We'll put that over there. I have a nice big pile of the trash. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my Gmail account. And what I'm doing here is basically I'm going through and I'm not processing. So if you follow GTD, this isn't really the time. I'm not doing work during this time. I really am just seeing if there's anything that needs to be put onto my calendar that I need to plan for or take care of. So I'm scanning my inbox here, my primary box in Gmail, and I've got 8 messages in here. And some of them are, I would prefer to get rid of a lot of these, but they're really going to need to take some time. So what I'll probably do is I'll time box a time to go through and process a lot of this email. Sometimes I email me stuff like one of the emails in here, I just emailed myself a whole bunch of PDF files that I found online, like guides and checklists and stuff like that. So I just emailed it to myself. That stuff needs to be saved in the right place and looked at and read. Here I sent myself an article, a link to an article, got take time to read it and decide what I'm going to do with it. So what this is telling me is I need to block out some time to do this. So I'm just going to go into my calendar, and just to start, I'm going to grab just a random spot here, and I'm going to say process Gmail inbox, and I'm just going to set it for half an hour. And I don't really care what time right now I put it, because I'll move things around in my calendar when I get to the time boxing part of the wrap session. I'm not there yet, so I'll move it around later. But right now I've captured it that I need to do that because I've got things that need to be taken care of in here. I've got a couple things in the promotions tab actually. Actually, this can go to updates. Nothing in my social tab, so I'm good there. The updates tab, I've got 41 emails in there, so I got to go through those. So it's really just a matter of I've been neglecting my email. I really have been neglecting it, and so I just need to carve out the time to actually do it. And actually, now that I think about it, I think it's going to take an hour. So, okay, so I made note that I need to set aside some time this week to just go through my Gmail inbox. Okay, so we got that taken care of. Now I'm just going to check my other social media inboxes. So I'm going into LinkedIn right now and checking LinkedIn. See, I don't have any messages in here. The last one I got was on the 19th. It's just someone looking for to make a sale. So nothing in there. I've got nothing in Facebook Messenger. I've got nothing in Twitter, which now it's called X, but I still call it Twitter. I've got nothing in my DMs there. Instagram, I had some things in there earlier, but actually I already got rid of them. So I've got nothing in there. Yeah, so all my inboxes are good, cleared out there. And then if I look at my work email, yeah, I'm caught up with my work email. I really try to keep my inbox really, really small on my work email. So I'm good. All my mail and inboxes are done. So I can check that off my list. All right. So then what I move on to from a personal standpoint is I have a category or a checklist item called house and cars. In here, I have a note. Hey, is it the first of the month? Because it's time to change the furnace filter. It is not. So next Sunday when I do my review, which I think it'll be March 2nd, that's when I'll flip that. So I'll literally see that on my checklist, and I will go downstairs and I will change out the furnace filter. I do that once a month, but I keep it on my weekly wrap session list just to remind me. So what's triggering for me right now is I'm down to my last furnace filter. I know that because I saw yesterday that I'm down to my last one. I need to order more, and I have a weird size furnace filter. So this is a to-do item that needs to be added to my list to take care of this next week. So I need to order furnace filters. I heard a great quote a long time ago. Someone said, in regards to having something, if you have three, you actually have two. If you have two, you actually have one. And if you have one, you have none. So the whole premise of that quote is that I'm down to my last furnace filter, which means I don't have any left. Because you're going to use that last one and be out zero. So you want to try to always replenish before you get to one. So I'm down to one, which means I basically have zero. Because a week from today, I'm going to have zero. So I'm going to put on my to-do list here that I need to order furnace filters. And like I said, I've got a weird size furnace filter. So what that means is I have to order them online from a company because the size I can't get at Target, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. Nobody carries that size. So, okay, so I will set aside a to-do item to order furnace filters this week. So again, I'm not doing the work right now. I'm going through my list. I'm recognizing something that needs to be done or taken care of, or somebody I need to call or whatever. I'm just putting it on a to-do list, or I'm putting it in a calendar spot if it's something that requires an actual time slot. Okay, so, and then for cars, are the cars gassed and cleaned? And I actually already took care of that. So both cars are full on gas for the week and cleaned and everything, so those are good to go. So we can cross that off the list. Okay, so I'm just putting a check by that one. Okay, so the next thing I go through is my backpack. So I'm basically just looking for anything that might have gotten dumped in here during the week that I need to see. That's what I'm talking about. Post-it notes. Clean out any trash or garbage or anything I have in here. So that's basically just all pens, business cards. Okay, so far only one thing in there. Nothing in there. And nothing in there. Okay, so pretty much the backpack just had one thing in it. Sometimes, like if I go on a trip for work or, sometimes the backpack can get a lot of stuff in it. This time it was just some notes. So these are things that need to be scanned. So just like things I've jotted down, diagrams I'm charting out. So these are things that need to be scanned. And I have other notes too, because the checklist item is backpack / miscellaneous notes. So I've got other notes here that I captured throughout the week, post notes. These things need to be scanned and organized. And that I would do now, but I'm not going to step away from the camera. So I'll just do that later. But I have them, and they're in a pile here right next to the mail. So I've got that taken care of. Okay, the next thing on my checklist is make sure that everything is charged. So my earbuds for the week, I just like to make sure they're charged, good to go, full of batteries. And I actually know that they are because I did that this morning. So I'm good on things being charged. Okay, so I can cross that off my list. Okay, the next thing on the list is who to reach out to this week. Who do I need to reach out to? This I added. It's not on the kind of main getting things done checklist or whatever formal process. This is something I added. So every week I try to reach out to people in my network, people I'm connected to, might be friends, might be relatives, former coworkers, to just stay in touch, drop a message. Usually it's just to say hi. What really helps for me is when I go onto LinkedIn, if I see like one of my connections got a new job or got a promotion or something like that, that's perfect. I try to reach out to about 3 people every week. And so LinkedIn's a great place to find, a reason to contact someone, if you will. But I do know for sure that there is one former colleague, former coworker that I still talk to, but we have actually, we used to get together for lunch a lot more frequently. We haven't in a really long time. So I had it on my list last week to reach out to him, and I did. And it was nice to get reconnected, and we said we definitely got to get together and have lunch or what have you. So my duty this week is I told him in my last message to him that I was going to check my calendar this week and find a date that works for me and toss it his way. And so I have to reach back out to him, and then I'll do 2 other people that I see on LinkedIn. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is look ahead at my calendar so I can get back to Jason on when we can meet up. It can't be this Friday. So Fridays are the only days that really work for both of us. So I'm gonna tell him the 7th or the 21st. So I'm just gonna let him know that. Okay. All right, that's done. So I followed up with him. I'm just gonna go into LinkedIn, see if there's any updates. Anybody who okay. Okay, so here's someone I used to work with a long time ago, back in 2011, 2012. He had a birthday. Actually, it looks like it's today. Yep. So I'm gonna drop him a message just to say happy birthday, and I hope he's doing well. He lives in California now. Didn't know that. Okay. All right. So there's the second person. Let's just find one more here. So I gotta try to find a better way to track when I reach out to these people. I know in the past I thought about actually building a spreadsheet program or something, small database program in like Access or something like that. And I think I even started building one where I was going to try to track everybody in my network and when I reached out to them, kind of like my own CRM, if you will. Um, but I just never. It wasn't a top priority. But I do like to try to. I mean, kind of right now I'm relying on. I'm relying on LinkedIn's mail system, messaging system, to remember when I reached out to somebody. So, okay, here's another birthday. Okay, let's do. Oh, here's someone that got a promotion, so that's a good. Okay, we'll say congrats to him. Okay. Okay, so there we go. So I added. So I reached out to 3 people. That was on my to-do list. That's part of my wrap session is just to reach out to 3 people, just real quick. Keep it quick. Okay, so that is it for that section. So we're cruising. Okay, so now this is where the bulk of the wrap session takes place. Now this is where I'm going to look at primarily my calendar. Um, I look back 1 week and I look ahead 2 weeks to know, um, what happened last week, what meetings was I in last week where maybe there was a takeaway or something that I had to follow up with. I'm making sure that I have that noted, and then I'm looking ahead 2 weeks just to see what's coming up on the radar. This week is going to be weird at work. We are moving offices. Um, the physical offices we're moving, and so this week is going to be weird because I'll be remote 1, maybe 2 days this week instead of going into the office. And then normally when I would work remote on Friday, I'll actually be in the office because we'll be in the new location setting up our stuff. So this week is going to be kind of weird. Um, so what I'm doing is on my calendar, I'm just making sure I'm aware of where I'm going to be, um, what meetings I've got, and this is really kind of step one of starting to time block what my week looks like. So I'm going to go on my calendar and just make sure that I know where I need to be every day. Okay. So tomorrow I'm in the office. Okay. Tuesday I'm in the office. Wednesday I'm remote. Tuesday in the office, Friday in the office. Only one day remote this week, which is normally it's Fridays, but this week it'll be Wednesday. Okay, I have dentist appointment on Tuesday. That needs to be moved because I won't be able to make that due to conflict. So I got a call to cancel that. So I'm going to put that on my to-do list. And it has to be tomorrow because I think you got to cancel 24 hours before, at least. Okay. All right. And then another appointment Friday morning. So I got to go into work that day. So I think that's early enough that I'll be okay. So I don't have to move that. My recording session though with Luke for our channel, the Dumb Marketer Show, that I will have to move to a different time. So I got to toss him sometimes and find out when he can record, because normally we record those on Friday afternoons, but won't be able to do that because I got to go into the office and I will be busy setting up my brand new office on Friday, so I can't do that. Okay, now personal things. So I've been taking care of my mom and dad's plant since they are out of town. So normally I do that on Tuesdays, but actually I'm going to do that tomorrow for a couple different reasons. Normally I do it on Tuesdays, but I'm going to do that actually tomorrow. So and it's 2 hours because they live about 35 minutes away. So it takes me a little bit to get there. I leave here about 7:15, and so it takes 35 minutes to get there, and then I futz around, water the plant, look around the house, make sure nothing's wrong or anything like that, and then drive home. So all in all, I call it about 2 hours. Okay, so I got that, and then I'm gonna try to do that one more time before they come home, and I think I'll do it. I'm gonna put it for Saturday, but I might do it Sunday. But I'm gonna put it on for Saturday right now. 2 hours. I might do that Saturday morning. There. Okay. Can't think of any other personal commitments I have at this point. Okay, so I think my calendar is in a good spot. I've got my work schedules laid out. The other thing I include in my calendar is the meal plan for the week. So the different things going to be having for dinner. So I've got that all figured out. The whole week's figured out. Went grocery shopping today, so I've got all that stuff. So we're good there. Okay, so now I'm in a time block. I'm going to fill in the holes with the other things that I want to do for my side hustle. Oh, one more thing I want to throw in: going to the gym. I am going to do that on Tuesday and Thursday. And that's probably 2 hours as well, with travel time and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm going to do that on Tuesday and Thursday. Okay. So now I can time block basically when I'm going to do my own personal work stuff. So I've been focusing a lot lately on YouTube, and I'm finding, obviously, that YouTube takes a lot of time. Video production takes a lot of time, editing and stuff like that. So I'm right now, the only night I have free this week is Wednesday. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hardcore on Wednesday. Probably start around 7 p.m. and go for 3.5 hours. I'm going to turn out some YouTube stuff. That's really the only time I'm going to be able to do it this week, unfortunately. And then probably, Friday night. I usually do long sessions on Friday nights. I got nothing else going on because I'm old, so I don't go out. And then same with Saturday night. So I'll probably, I'll get stuff done then. But as far as like churning out stuff this week, right now I'm going to block 7 to 10. I was going to do 7 to 10 right now for my own thing. So with 3 hours. And then on Friday I'll get another 4 or 5 hours in. So what, then I'm at, call it 8 hours, and another 5 hours on Saturday. So I'm looking at like 13 hours. I usually like to try to get to 15 hours a week, but I'm going to be a little short this week just because I got other stuff going on this week. But that's okay. I'm fine with that. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to block that off right now. And 3 hours. I'm on YouTube.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I'm almost done, so if you want to watch the show. Or you.
Maybe skip that tonight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. How many viewers?
I had one earlier.
Very creative setup. Like it.
Thanks. Okay.
What'd you teaching them?
How I plan for my week.
Nice.
Nice.
Can I take this in my room?
Yeah, just don't spill it.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Love you.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.
Okay. So now we've time boxed work. That includes travel. Prior commitments at this point is pretty much just going watering my parents' plants. And then my work stuff and then workout stuff. So I think I'm good there. Okay, and I have, so the last thing on the list for my wrap sessions is just to compile my to-do list and goals. And the other thing I should, so I operate in quarters, in 13-week sprints, 12 weeks of solid work, churning out new stuff, content, things like that. And then the 13th week is more for reviewing what I did, and planning for the next quarter. So this is week 9. So we've got 4 weeks left of churning out content, and then I'll take that 13th week to just reflect and then figure out Okay, so this quarter the big thing has been YouTube. This quarter the big rock has been YouTube, and how could I get started on YouTube? How could I get consistent with posting videos? And in true Bob Stanke fashion, I started with, oh, I'll do one channel and grow that channel, and now I have four. So I'm juggling a lot. I'm juggling a lot, but I enjoy it, so I'm not worried about that at all. Um, but I don't know what next quarter is going to be. I mean, I'm assuming it'll be continuing on YouTube, but I probably got some other things that I want to also work on. But I'm very committed to getting to 100 videos on my YouTube channel. My goal is around a 60-40 split, and it'll vary, but 60% being shorts, 40% being long form. So that's 40 long form videos this year, and I think I'm at like 9 or 10. So I'm well on my way, and very happy with where that's going. But it's been random. I've been doing it kind of just whenever I have time. I would like it to get into a consistent schedule, build out a content plan, and that's maybe what that 13th week will be. Focusing on building out a more structured YouTube plan, and how I'm going to make content, when I'm going to make it, when I'm going to publish it, and things like that. So, but for right now, I'm kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall and just seeing what sticks and what gets views and watch time, and what my audience likes to watch, and then also what I like to make. At the end of the day, I'm not reliant on having to make YouTube make me money, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Um, I'm actually just trying to learn at this point, and do it for. Actually, what I'm learning the most is how to edit video. Something that going in I really had no experience with, but I've gotten better. Still, nowhere near what a lot of people can do, but I've gotten a ton better with editing, and I actually kind of enjoy it. So I've learned that. So that's a key takeaway that I'll focus on during my reflection week, week 13. But looking ahead, the next 2 weeks, um, there's really not much going on. I mean, it's pretty much business as usual. So that's good. So the 13th week will be the week of March 23rd. So I'm going to work solid on everything until the 22nd of March, and then I'll take that 13th week, which is March 23rd through the 29th. Just kind of take that easy, do a lot of reflecting, probably post videos on what I've learned this quarter. Um, but that's about it. So this is week 9. So I'm in week 9 right now. Today is the start of week 9. And if you want to learn more about how I'm trying to stay productive and stay on track, I actually have in my plan to create some videos around this type of content. I've done that before and actually really, really enjoyed it. So I will probably give that another try. Um, and my plan would be to show you the tools that I use to do all of this. So as I mentioned, I use Google Calendar primarily, Gmail for my inbox, um, Trello. So I'll put my to-dos in Trello here, and um, that's kind of it. I used to use Evernote. I used to use Notion. I don't use those anymore. Um, yeah, and then I use a lot of spreadsheets to track a lot of things that I do that don't fit into Trello. Things that I want to track with numbers, so kind of like a scorecard. So I use Excel a lot. Sometimes Google Sheets, although I've started to use the Microsoft products a lot more. I'm actually a lot more familiar with the Microsoft products than I am the Google products, but I've been using the Google products for so long that sometimes like so much stuff is in there. So yeah, so that's a real high overview of my wrap sessions, my weekly review, and planning sessions, and kind of the different things that I go through and things I think about. And I put on my calendar. Like I said, I'll show, maybe I'll create some separate videos that show how these look in the tools. I definitely could probably show you the calendar because that's just time boxing. That's just the different things I'm working on. So I could probably show you that. Would love to show you Trello, or at least a modified version of Trello. Um, I mix a lot of my work stuff with my personal stuff in my rap sessions because I just got to keep it all together. I got to keep, I need to keep it all together. So that's the reason why I don't show a lot of. I don't put any of my work documents in any of my personal systems, but like I may have a Trello card for something that I need to do for work in my own Trello system. We use Trello at work too, but when I'm doing these planning sessions, I need to look at my whole universe and it all needs to be in one spot. And that's just what's going to make it easier. So there's some duplication there for sure. There's things that are duplicated across systems, but I don't think that's a problem. It works for me, but so that's why I don't share my screen because I do have some work stuff um, that's in the system too. So that's kind of it. That's that's what I do every Sunday night. I'm just gonna go through this wrap process, and maybe in the future you'll see me doing it again. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you want to see anything, let me know. And now I need to figure out how to shut off this live stream. It's gotta be somewhere here. I guess I just end the video. Okay. Hey, thanks for watching. If you watched, got this far, thank you. And